Thanks for checking out a new episode of Bad Advice with Chris Cubis, the show where unqualified people give unsolicited advice. This week I'm joined by comedians Dan Soder and Jay Whitecotton. We get into some fun stuff. How many times do you have to thank someone for giving you their kidney? What's the etiquette when you have a sex worker living across the hall? All this and more on a brand new episode. Check it out. Thanks for checking out a new episode of Bad Advice, the show where unqualified people give unsolicited advice. It's a thunderstormy day here in Austin, Texas. For my people listening in the city, I just got to get on my high horse for 2 seconds. Go vote. Early voting's already started. Make sure you vote no on Prop B. They are literally just trying to make being homeless a fucking crime. It's like, I know the Republicans are making a lot of these ads where it's like, oh, if you care about homeless people, vote for Prop B. But then when you read Prop B, it's like, if you fall asleep on a bench, we get to cut your feet off. It's like, it's a horrific fucking proposition. So vote no on that shit. Enough of my high horse. I'm joined today by two of my favorite, funniest fucking humans I know. You know him from Billions. You know him from Sirius XM's The Bonfire. Dan Soder is here. What's going on, brother?
What's up, Chris? How are you?
I am good. How are you?
I'm good. It's nice to see some Texas folks. Two of my favorite Texas folks right now. And
join up our second Texas folks. Let's get the introduction out the way. You know him. You love him. Jay Whitecotton's here. What's up, brother? Did he freeze on us already? Or is that just how he looks now?
I think.
Yeah. Yeah, there we go. Hold on. I'm fucking. All right, let me just plug shit in. Let me get the edit. I really wish you didn't start with Dan because his credits are actual credits. If that makes sense.
No, I get you.
Hey, so it's on fucking TV, super famous. You love him. You came here for him. Dan Soder and his other guy. Yeah, he's fine. He's fine. He's done. He did Mr. Tramps.
You were on Laughs. I was on the television, was it not, Jay?
I got paid for Laughs, so
nice.
I'm like,
there you go.
I got it's my favorite credit because I did one show and they bought it went to Hulu, Fusion TV, and on top of Fox. So it was like 3 credits for the price of one. I didn't have to do shit.
Yeah, nice. There you go.
We love it. Dan, you're back out. You're doing shows again. Well, you're getting your vaccine and you're going back to shows. How's you excited for fucking stand-up comedy to be a thing again?
Yeah, we'll see. I think people are going to come out of this a little cagey.
Audience or comics? What do you mean?
Both. You're already seeing it. You're already seeing people forgot how to act in public. You got to relearn. We got to relearn how to fucking mingle.
Yeah, I can't imagine how bad. Like the first heckler that I deal with back on the show is either going to be murdered or I might just like cry. I might not know how to handle the situation.
I did a socially distant weekend in Philadelphia back at the end of last year. It was right when you guys remember when that TikTok got real big of that that dude drinking the cranberry juice, listening to Led Zeppelin.
Yeah.
Fleetwood Mac.
Fleetwood Mac. Yeah,
Fleetwood Mac. He was listening to Fleetwood Mac drinking the cranberry. So I was doing this weekend of shows, and I was like, man, these have all been real fun. Everyone's had a real good time. And then there was this table that straight up just talked to each other like they were at in their living room, like throughout the whole show. Yeah. And one of the dudes looked like that guy. It was fucking with me because there was halfway through when I was trying to talk to them where I was like, is actually that the dude? I was like, sir, are you Cranberry Choke? I just need to know if you're the guy that's famous all over the place. And they were just like, they were not listening to the point that it was impressive. Like I had never seen it before. They were just sitting there talking and then they were like, what's up? Like I was a waiter interfering with their conversation.
But Dan, I feel like you've been too far removed from shitty comedy shows. That is a very common occurrence.
Well, I've been real lucky that I haven't. It's been about 1 or 2 years since I've had a real true dog fight. But I go out to Long Island for those.
That sounds right.
They don't give a fuck about you unless you're Sebastian.
Yeah. Jay, what about you? You're doing shows again. How's comedy?
I did a show in San Antonio to 100 of those guys from that video.
Oh my, yeah.
Yeah.
Just all of them talking at the same time and not listening.
They were listening, but it was still to Fleetwood Mac. It was awful. Yeah. I found a way.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did. It was one of those things like I went through a breakup, so I didn't really give a shit if I lived or died. So
sure. Yeah,
that got you through.
Well, I had to pay rent, so I ended up doing the loony bins in Oklahoma City and Wichita, like right as they were electing Biden president. So it was
sick.
fucking wild. I woke up, they used tornado sirens for the city to announce the new president.
Jesus.
Like some sort of fucked up pope. They just like,
Yeah,
that's
their white
No,
smoke.
it was genuine fear. They were genuinely afraid. Like, it was the most fun I've had performing, because the day of the election was either going to be the greatest night of their lives or the end of the fucking world for them.
Did you see a lot? Did you see doing those shows? Did you see the beginning of like the rejection of the results?
Oh yeah. It was
immediately.
Yeah, everyone like in Kansas, in Wichita, I was at this thrift store, and this lady, no mask, was just smoking in a thrift store.
Well, to be fair, it'd be a little hard to smoke with a mask. You gotta cut her some slack.
I am cutting some slack. I mean, she could have like done the thing that some of the white trash were doing, where they made a smoke hole for the mask. But she was telling me, I recorded it. She was telling me like that to not worry, because she looked at me and she's like, "Oh, clearly he's one of us."
Sure. Yeah,
and which is fine. I'll skate by on that. She was telling me the plans. He was like, there's some militias. They're going down. They're going to handle this. And then I explained to her, it's like, well, even if you take out Joe Biden, you still have to deal with Kamala. And then she got ghost white, and then goes, I have to go make a phone call.
That's so funny. That's funny that woman was so ready to go and didn't even realize the entire usage of the vice presidency.
I
didn't realize that. Like,
chain of command hadn't factored it at all.
Wait,
I also like that she's apparently like, she's in charge. She's like running intel out of this fucking thrift store. I gotta make a phone call real quick.
Let's put a pin in this real quick. I got some real top level shit to go do. I gotta go move some pawns.
That's fucking hilarious.
I gotta sell a Spuds McKenzie doll from 1988.
She goes, I gotta go confer with an Alf t-shirt that my driver seat, because there's too many holes in it from cigarettes.
So you did the loony bins. Have you been were you around Jay for the most for the brief Austin comedy wars, the new comedy wars?
I've been around. I've been enjoying it.
What's going on? Fill me in.
So there's a little bit of silly, like, fucking comedy scenes are just high school with fucking bars in them. But like, so there's a bit of the old guard versus the comics that came in when people stopped doing shows for COVID. There was a bunch of people that came in the city who were like, well, this is my time to shine. Just went to every bar, started shows, and they're doing comedy. And like, I don't know these people. They could be funny. I haven't seen any. I wasn't out at shows, so I don't want to judge them as comics. But there is definitely a little bit of like fucking old guard versus new guard fucking like bully shit happening, which I am partially here for. I do enjoy some bullying, but it is funny to just realize you're all fighting over 3 drink tickets. It's not even like these aren't even paid shows. You're just fighting over the same 6 minutes of fucking bullshit jokes you wrote. So like, it's
because I mean, Texas stayed somewhat open. You guys didn't
almost exclusive. We went into lockdown for like a couple weeks, a month. I don't know. It was a short period of time, and then they started opening up again for like patio stuff, and then bars could be 50%, and then they just slowly but surely went back to like no one gives. It's been 6 months of like you can do whatever the fuck you want in this nightmare of a city. New
York went full lockdown like 28 days later style, where it was just like you could go through Manhattan and it was spooky like up until I want to say July, and then when all the shows started in the summer, all the outside shows, it became like roving gangs where you like turn and you'd be like, whose show's on Ludlow? Are we cool to be here? But you're just doing shows just in the middle of the street. It's fucking wild, man. It was wild to be able to, even now, to go inside feels so fucking good.
It's fucking weird. I went through such a period, like we did the quarantine thing super hard. Like I'm a fat dude with high blood pressure. I was not trying to catch fucking comorbidities, so I was very like not leave my house. And then like start like just doing like fucking Instacart for groceries, just not doing shit. And then slowly started like, oh, I'll go do curbside pickup. That's something I can be outside. We'd go for walks, that kind of shit. But like the first time I went into a grocery store was like the weirdest fucking feeling in the world of just like, oh, should I touch the avocados? I don't know how to pick an avocado anymore. It was just fucking bizarre. You know what I mean? But now like I'm vaxxed. I'm still like mindful and wearing a mask and doing like whatever, because you can maybe spread it if you're not. But like I'm vaccinated, so I have giving less of a fuck about it. It feels very good.
I feel like Jay, because Jay has gone such the hard road in doing shows during the quarantine, you're like apocalypse strong now, Jay. You should get like
man.
Wear an eye patch.
I grew up in San Antonio, Texas. It's the same thing.
Yeah, dude. Jay and I worked together on what I could tell you was the string of the most bombs I've ever had in my life, which was at the old River Center.
Yeah, I could vouch for that. I'll vouch for that.
Jay literally was the guy that was like, he was my point man in Nam. Like he was like, we'll go here. There's a comic book store I can take you to. And I was like, I'm just getting through this.
Dude, no, I wanted to thank you for that. You got me into Preacher, and it's
hell yeah.
One of the greatest comics I've ever read.
Yeah.
I love the TV show, the whole thing. I'm such a fan.
Fuck yeah, dude. I was always pushing Garth Ennis. I was always like on whoever, and now like they made The Boys, which is fucking crazy.
Fucking amazing.
And it's good. It's really good.
They did a fairly faithful adaptation too. Like when I reading the book, I was always like, they can't, like, how far are they able to push this? They fucking mostly did it, man.
And I kind of like that they only used it as like a base, and they jumped and started doing their own storylines. Where you're like, all right, fuck yeah, I'll go with this.
Yeah,
I feel like that's a Seth Rogen thing, and he gets a lot of crap for that, because I liked what they did in the first season of Preacher when they made it kind of like a prequel to establish the characters and their dynamics, and everyone's getting upset about it, like the same way they're upset at the Mortal Kombat movie.
Yeah, people are shitting on that. I was gonna watch it.
Are they? I'm gonna watch it tonight. Probably. I have not. I don't. Also, are you that fucking tied into the story of Mortal Kombat? I thought it was just ripping people's heads off. I played that video game,
Chris. But however, and I think Jay, sorry to interrupt. I don't know if you're gonna make the same point. I think the problem with this Mortal Kombat is there's not even a tournament. So it's
well, that's a little that seems a little weird.
I love it. I think it's fantastic because they're setting up the sequel. I can tell you right now, there's no Johnny Cage, but he's gonna be at the end credits. You know he's going to be.
Right.
You know what? And something that I learned from watching Cobra Kai is just kind of like they're like those they were like those old things that you'd have to relax your eyes, one of those, and then you'd see
and see the book or whatever. Yeah.
That's kind of like what you got to do now when they do an adaptation of a thing you love, where you're like, all right, relax your eyes and see
see the bigger picture, and
then let it fucking move forward.
It's funny you bring up Cobra Kai. Dan, you strike me as the type of person that, did you do like karate as a kid? You have real karate kid. No, okay.
Oh my god, I wished. I fucking wrestled when I was a kid, and I wasn't aggressive enough for it.
Wrestling. Those kids that did wrestling were like fucking psychopath. Every kid I did that did wrestling was like way too intense.
I just remember the first wrestling practice where you're like teaming up with someone, and I was a WWF fan. I still am. So I was kind of like, in my mind, I was like, all right, brother, how are we going to work this? You're going to work my arm? And instead, I just remember this kid like relentlessly driving me into the mat, where it's just like you're getting driven in and you're like, hey, stop. Hey, you're being mean. And I just remember I just sucked at it. So I just was
Dan, I love the idea of the non-aggressive wrestler.
Yeah.
That's like, a good character. Yeah.
Yeah. Where he goes, hey, do you mind if I grab your ankle?
Just holding him.
I just want to. It's just like a buddy, like an arm over the shoulder, like a buddy. Like, hey, come here, I love you. It's me, the non-aggressive wrestler.
All right, fellas, let's go ahead. So question: What is your guys' familiarity level with Dear Abby? I have to ask because some people have no idea what the fuck I'm talking about.
I know it through references.
Sure.
I can't say that I've ever sat down and read a Dear Abby.
No, you're a 40-year-old, I'm assuming, man. Yeah. I understand that's not a thing any of us have read, but Jay, you know what it is, right?
Well, it's funny. I read the synopsis that you sent in the email. I used to do a Dear Abby column for like us all weekly, where it was called Bad Advice, where I would just give the worst possible advice. So when you were doing this for the podcast, I was like, oh yeah, done, got it,
perfect,
fine.
Yeah,
we love it.
I get the gig. I love it. I'm down.
Jay's gonna rock. I'm just gonna try to give like meandering stoner advice, where I'm gonna be like, I don't know, a nap might do it.
all we're looking for. I did a Zoom Master Pancake show last night. It's like a Mystery Science Theater thing, and somebody in the chat was like, "Oh, I love the podcast. It's almost as good as therapy." And I was like, "It's not. You don't do that. You need actual help."
That's like when I was really drinking hard. I thought vitamin water was good for rehydration. I was just like, "Oh, this has vitamins in it." It's like, you idiot. That's all sugar.
Yeah. All right. So let me go ahead. I'll jump into these letters here. We'll go ahead and start off with a nice, easy one. Dear Abby, a few months ago, I moved into a new apartment. The complex, while not luxurious, is quite nice. A few weeks after I moved in, one of my neighbors informed me that the woman who lives across the hall is running a business from her home. Her quote unquote services are illegal, if you know what I mean. I've noticed that whenever I leave my apartment or return to it, there's yet another strange man entering or leaving. I'm conflicted. This is my home too, and I shouldn't have to worry about these characters. What if they mistake my door for hers? Also, I have overheard this woman on her cell phone making arrangements for these individuals to come over. She even gives them out the gate code. Although I'd like to report these illegal activities, I'm afraid of retaliation. What is the best way to handle this? Or should I just look the other way and mind my own business the way other neighbors have? Signed, it's my home too in Indiana.
Damn.
So you got a hooker living across the hall. Here's what threw me in this letter is where she goes, "What if they mistake my door for hers?" Now I've never used the services of a sex worker. No shame, just something I've never done. But I don't think you get to show up and just fuck whoever answers the door, right? Like, it's not a concern.
Well, Chris, that's actually where you don't know about old hooker law. Hooker law, much like vampire law, that if they invite you in, you get to fuck them for money.
Jay, you ever lived around prostitutes?
Yes.
I don't know. People can't see the image of you, but of course you have.
Well, to be honest, it's easy to just accuse it of. It could be just running drugs. It could be a massage therapist. And if this was done during quarantine, maybe this person was just trying to fucking survive by working at home, which is what we've all had to do. So this bitch needs to get off her fucking high horse and stop judging people for doing what they do in their own home. However, I will say you can't narc. Like when I was 19, I lived next door to this loud couple that would just beat the shit out of each other, like all the time, to the point where my walls are shaking and things are falling off. Yeah. And as a 19-year-old kid, I'm like, I should probably call the authorities or something. So this sounds like he's murdering her. Right. And I did. And it turns out this guy was also the drug dealer and the maintenance worker for the entire apartment complex.
Yeah. So now your garbage disposal doesn't work. You're just fucked.
Yeah, they both called me a white ass bitch.
Yeah.
She's got a black eye. She's got a black eye calling me a white ass bitch for calling the cops. I'm like, hey, you know what? Kill her. I hope she dies.
Yeah, you go next time. Fit it. I don't know. I'm out of this now. But Jay, I had a very similar situation when for a summer I worked up in Kenai, Alaska at a fish cannery, and there was these rooms, and there were these rooms that were like dorm rooms, and a lot of meth. The processors used a lot of meth, and there was this tall, skinny blonde lady that lived with this 5'1" Filipino dude that would always rock this Kangol cap, and he had a gold tooth. The motherfucker was mean. He had Oakleys that he never took off.
Looks mean. You're just,
5'1".
Yeah.
And I couldn't get into my room one night because my roommate had locked the door, and I couldn't. And I was like, long story short, I was scheming him, so I was kind of staying on the place for free.
Yeah.
So this other guy, Adam, was like, "You can stay in my room," and I was sleeping on the bed, and he was dead asleep, and I could hear that dude beating the shit out of that lady in the next room, and I was like, "Fuck, I gotta do something." And then I was like, "No, you shut the fuck up. They can get rid of bodies easy up here."
Yeah.
And so I kept
solid white albacore out of your ass for sure.
Dude, yeah, right.
They're gonna have Dan Soder tuna fish sandwich.
Yeah. So finally it got so bad that it sounded like you said, I heard it and I was like, dude, I think he's gonna kill her. And I went and I fucking banged on their front door, bap, 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 shut the fuck up. And then they went quiet and I could hear them grumbling. Next day while I'm smoking a cigarette, this motherfucker walks up to me, takes his glasses off, and he goes, "Hey, white boy, next time you fuck with my shit, I cut you from here." And he pointed my belly button and he goes up to here to my throat. And I was like, "Yeah, I'm good, man."
Yeah.
He was one of the guys that used the knives.
Yeah.
This dude.
No, I'm gonna real talk. I am afraid of non-traditional gangsters. Like black gangsters, Mexican gangsters, I know how to move in those circles. But like when you start getting into like Filipino gangsters and like Arab gangsters, I don't know what's gonna set you off. I don't know the customs. That should frighten me. I wish
in that moment that I knew a little bit of Tagalog or something to get me out of that. Like, I'm sorry. It's just like, I wish I could say I'm sorry in Tagalog, and I would have been like.
And those domestics are the worst situation to be in, because like, you obviously want to do the right thing. You don't want, I mean, I'll speak for myself, don't want to call the cops, because I never want to fucking call the cops. It just, they tend to make things worse. But like, you want to do something, but then you don't know what like who's gonna pick what side. It's a terrible situation to be in.
It was just like what Jay said. He he thinks he's breaking up a domestic, and then you don't realize it's the maintenance guy and the weed guy of the complex. You're like, well, fuck me. I think we're gonna have a hard time getting along.
I will say this though about this letter. For two things. One, for the purposes of this podcast, at least, we do have to kind of take these people like kind of word for it. Now we do have to also understand that people are going to write in and give the story that makes them look the best, right?
Yeah,
nobody's going to write in and make themselves look like an asshole. However, if we read some of this, he can overhear the people can overhear her making arrangements. We can kind of see like there may have a little more of a reason to think that this person is a sex worker, just kind of by if we can take some clues from the context. What I want to say, is that people, I think, and I've lived around a lot of criminals from various apartments and various poor places I've lived. If they are like, we're not talking about a domestic, we're not talking about people doing violence. If you're talking about drug dealers or prostitutes or whatever, for the most part, it's pretty chill, because they don't want to attract a lot of problems. You know what I mean? Like, that's been my experience, at least.
Having grown up around like poor minorities and white trash, I can tell you that's not the case. They love drama. They just want drama in their lives. In fact, if you want actual advice, what I would tell this lady, she can't never call the cops. Right. I mean, she's already I'm assuming a white lady, so that's not going to end well. She's going to lose her job. But just start adorn your door with like Christmas decorations. Make it hyper religious. Play Christmas music 24 hours a day. Make it so who can come to Rudolph the Reindeer?
Absolutely, dude. And if he's out, Jay, you're absolutely right. If you can fucking somehow shake these guys out of their boner before they knock on that door, will pivot and leave. But
a bunch of those like children at play signs or whatever. You got to really
get really into Christmas.
Yeah, my and then put stickers up like my little boy has a great sense of hearing. Fuck, man, I don't want to fuck if there's like kids listening. Daycare center, just fake it like she runs a daycare center. That's my advice. Is like to build off Jay's advice. Just put up a thing that you're like, it's a child care center for little kids with extra good hearing. And then they'll be like, fuck, man, I can't fuck this lady.
Yeah. I do also want to say, if this is just a sex worker and you don't have, like, here's the thing. The person writing this letter doesn't actually convey any problems, right? She doesn't say anything about there being violence or being loud people or people. She says, what if someone knocks on my door? No one actually has. So like, if this is just an instance of someone like doing some shit you don't agree with in their apartment, mind your fucking business, I think is what you got to do.
You're right about that. However, I have a friend who's actually going through this named Jessica, who has the same problem. Like they're running their OnlyFans next to her apartment. Right. And one time when she was just hanging out at her house, apparently a guy was just naked outside their apartment, crying and smoking.
What? Can I ask a third follow-up question?
Yeah.
Aroused or not aroused?
Important question.
No, I asked that half aroused.
I gotta say, someone crying with an erection may be the scariest thing I've ever seen. Like that.
I don't know. In the dynamic, I don't know if it's the guy that came there to be filmed fucking this guy's girlfriend, or if it was the guy who's dating the girl who has to film it, having a moment of Jesus Christ, what am I doing with my life?
Yeah. Well, you're making some. You're making some money and not doing a lot of work, so fucking deal with it. Like you picked this.
Yeah, but that is, I mean, with her, the one you have to look at. She said, "Give up the gate code," which
Sure.
normally would make me nervous in every situation. However, you have to think about the shame spiral these men are on after they come. They're coming, and then they just want to flee. They're not going to like hang out and check out the bushes outside. You know, they're going to be like, "I got to get the fuck out of here. I just did my thing. Let me leave."
Maybe she should set up like a line, like with those little circles telling people where to stand 6 feet away from each other.
Socially
And just-
distance.
Yeah.
Set up that line all the way down the stairs, all the way to the parking lot, and just like, yeah, this girl is like a total whore. She fucks a lot of people. There's a waiting list.
Capitalism this. You got to capitalism this. Set up a little booth. You sell condoms, cigarettes, Gatorade.
Yes.
You set up a little food truck outside.
Yeah.
All I
Where
want
we're
to know
going.
is, were they wearing masks? Were they wearing masks?
Yeah.
If not, break up her business. You break up her business right now.
Condoms. We call them dick masks. Let's go ahead and move on to the next letter here. Let's give. Oh, I like this one. Dear Abby, my husband and I just found out that his daughter and her boyfriend duped everyone, including us, with a formal traditional wedding ceremony, but the marriage is not legal. They had no intention of being legally wed, but felt that because they were having a baby, they were entitled to a formal wedding. We paid a large amount of money to attend this wedding, including gifts and a bridal shower. When confronted, they showed no remorse for their deception. In fact, they are extremely arrogant about it. They said it's their personal business and consider themselves married in the eyes of God. I am furious over this scam, which affects more than 100 family members and friends. Please advise. Signed, Deceived in Arizona.
Damn. You just got fucking desert throttled.
I kind of like it. Like, look, I mean, realistically, outside of the legal paperwork of it, right? And the like, marriage is just a thing you agree to, right? Other than the idea that like I signed this paper and now we get tax benefits or whatever. If you cut that out of it, it's just a ceremony. It's just that. So whatever, man. Let these people fucking. Also, I do like that they're like being shitty about it. I enjoy that they're like, no, fuck you. I'm keeping this blender.
At first, the shittiness makes you think they're the villain, and then you realize they're truly the heroes.
Yeah,
and they're taking this back for all people that have had to attend shitty weddings.
For sure. And also they had to pay a lot of money to attend the wedding, it says. So like this feels like maybe it was like a destination wedding. Although I don't know who's gonna have a destination wedding in Arizona. You just have to go for the racism, but
yeah, they're like, we're come up to Sedona.
That guy's just mad because he had to be married to his stupid wife. That's a pissed off husband. Hey, if I have to, you have to do it.
Yeah. Dude, that is fucking perfect. That is it. Yeah, he's just like, man, how did I get stuck with this bullshit? And you can just walk around it, you fucking asshole.
I actually think that married couple, that's the marriage that's going to last. And if it doesn't, what do you lose? It's not legal. So congratulations. You can break up without fucking paperwork.
Yeah. You don't have to get fucking LegalZoom involved to move out of your apartment.
Yeah, you don't have to make an appointment for a life change. You can just fucking do it and then be like, all right, let's go our own fucking way.
That's a traditionalist, and that's someone who that's clear. That was written by someone who's clearly pissed off that gay people can get married.
Yeah.
Oh, it's the rules. Love is real.
I was supposed to be the only one that got to do that. It was my ceremony. I got to play prince and princess.
They also say that this affects over 100 family members and friends. That's a pretty big fucking wedding. So my initial thought were these were like poor people and they're mad that like, oh, I spent money I didn't have and you didn't like, you kind of whatever. But like 100-person wedding is a fucking serious affair. So I think these are rich people whose kids just figured out a way to scam them out of like a vacation. Like they got a, you know what I'm saying? Somebody paid for their shit. I'm with it. I kind of like.
Isn't that every rich wedding though?
Sure. I don't know. I haven't been to one of them.
I think that's just every rich kid's life. Their whole life is a vacation. They're just like, where do you want to go? We don't have any worries. Yeah, I think if they do have money, then these people are true Robin Hoods. And by that, I mean selfish assholes that took a lot of money from the rich family. If these people are poor, they're fucking monsters and they took food out of kids' mouths,
yeah.
in a scam. But I think it's probably a mixture of both. So I
Yeah.
think, I'm with them.
Yeah. And also, again, it's this thing of like, this thing where they feel duped. I think a lot of this is they just feel dumb. You know what I mean? Like nobody wants to feel like they got tricked. And I think like if they just stepped back from it for a second and be like, well, my life isn't any different if they fucking went like had an actual justice of the peace. You know what I mean? Like, if you just step back and go like, this doesn't affect me. I would have gone to the wedding anyway.
It's pro wrestling, man. It's someone that went to a pro wrestling thing and found out it wasn't real and they got upset. And then someone's like, oh, it's real to me. It's the same thing, man. It's just a pageantry. And they're upset that the pageantry wasn't government sanctioned. Fuck them.
You're absolutely right. It's like someone being super pissed about Miss USA.
Yeah.
Fucking Miss Idaho had it in the bag during the talent performance. And they got up on it.
Wait, are you telling me Last Comic Standing is kind of
What? They can't make the calls for who's the funniest in America?
I want to throw this into though. The only thing that annoys me about people that got married is this line where they say they consider themselves married in the eyes of God. No, you don't. Just shut the fuck up. Like, like if you did look, I wanted a free fucking trip to Hawaii and a bunch of fucking kitchen appliances. Fine, I respect that. But this thing where you have to like try to make an excuse for your horseshittery, man, just rub your hands like an evil villain and laugh at these people. That's it.
We got you.
Also, that sounds like Sauron. It's the same.
Yeah.
We're gonna get married underneath the Dark Tower.
Yeah. All right, let's go ahead. We've got some more letters to get through here. I like this one. Dear Abby, I am part of a group of people who read our local newspaper online and comment on the news of the day in the public forums provided. It's great fun and offers an excellent place to interact with others. Some of us have become close, exchanging emails and chat messages. One of the women has suggested we all get together at a local watering hole and meet each other, and the gang has agreed. I would love to join in, but the problem is the persona I built online is that of a hunky, handsome young man, including a pilfered photo I posted as me on my profile. Needless to say, he is not me. I'm a 54-year-old chubby, graying man who wears glasses. I would love to meet these people, but I'm embarrassed about the lies I've told them. Some of the women have flirted with me, thinking I'm this sexy guy. How can I fix this so we can all be friends? I'm afraid they'll be angry at my ruse. Signed, Abs of Sponge.
Great name.
Yeah, fantastic name. So the catfish, obviously hilarious. Can you imagine a worse group of people to want to hang out with than the people that comment on your local newspaper's website?
Oh,
it's the same people that actually write to Dear Abby.
That's very true. That is very true.
That's probably Abby's response is like, well, don't forget about our local meetup groups.
Yeah,
we're doing it right now.
Can we talk about the idea that, like, let's be honest, do you think any of them look? He's not the only one, is my point. He's going to show up at a bar, and maybe the one lady who organized it, because she's so adamant, she might be a little close, but the rest of them are all a bunch of schlubby fucking losers too, man. Just go get drunk. No one's gonna care.
Or go dye your hair and buy one of those like Superman costumes that has the muscle on it. And then come in and be like, I'm the handsome boy that you were speaking to. It's weird that if you're gonna troll, I mean, if you're gonna fucking, catfish, I guess that's the place to do it, is your local.
I genuinely feel sincerely sorry for this person, because I feel like I know them. I know people like this, and it's very lonely. And I would suggest that they kill their character, like they murder the character.
Oh, there you go.
Like do it big. Put an obituary. Use the same beefcake photo in the obituary.
This is your obituary photo. Is just them doing a swimsuit at the beach.
pay for the funeral, and then go to the funeral to hear what all these people thought about the person that you were, so you could know that you weren't alone, and then use that as a way to make these friends under the new guise that this is who I am. I was friends with Beefcake. They're dead. Maybe we could hang out and talk about how awesome he was. And then he won't be lonely anymore. And then someone else could write to Dear Abby pissed off that they went to a fucking funeral and the guy wasn't even dead.
Yeah.
You ever heard the sociopath test? It's come up in some movies and shit, but the idea, so the question is, you tell someone you think he's a sociopath. This woman meets a man. It's kind of a riddle. This woman meets a man. She really wants to see him again, but she didn't get his number. And the idea is that she kills her mom so that guy will show up at the funeral so she can see him again, right? And that's how you know if the person's a sociopath, if that's the answer they give. Jay, you are 1 degree away from answering that correct. You have all of the answers to that.
I disagree with you. I disagree with you, Chris, real quick, Jay.
Yeah, please.
I think Jay is heist brilliant. Like, I'm thinking of this right now, and I'm like, I think we could go get the Mona Lisa out the Louvre.
No, I come from gypsies. All right, I'm from gypsies.
Yeah,
right? Chris, to answer that, what is the true sociopath test? That question about like the woman and stuff like that. How do you meet the guy and you kill the guy? Which is, I grew up on Raymond Chandler novels, so I know how to think of mysteries. Sure. Which is more sociopathic? Being able to guess the answer to a trick question that's obviously a trick, a riddle. Or asking me this question 5 different times because you don't even think about me enough to remember that you've asked me 5 times. Who's the real sociopath, motherfucker?
Valid point.
Oh, dude, I like Chris's way of turning you there. He's getting you there by being like, one more time, Jay. I have a riddle for you.
Do you think that this, so outside of the fake funeral, is there any chance this guy can just show up as himself and be okay? You know what I mean? If he just shows up and goes, hey guys, I'm really sexy bot or whatever his fucking name
is. There's no way it goes well. There might be 1 or 2 people that are like,
bring donuts.
You open the tab. I feel like if you open the bar.
Yes. I think if you pay for the drinks, if you come in and you go, you pay for the drinks and then you're like, I should also have a confession to make. I'm young hot boy.
Yeah.
If we don't understand that some people have so much social anxiety that to only have confidence to interact with people because they can't do it, that they have to create a character of themselves. Well, guess what? That's most of society.
Yeah.
Yeah. Particularly now, like with social media. God, I sound like the oldest fucking man with social media. Yeah. But like, that is what everyone does, right? Even if you on Twitter, your name is your name and your picture is your picture. That is still not who you are. Yeah. Right? Like that is the presentation of who you want people to think you are. Like your personality.
And anyone that's fucking, and there's a lot of people that loudly say like, this is who I am. It's like, no, man, fuck you. That's not who you are.
Even worse.
It's probably way worse.
Who's out there kayaking all this time?
Yeah.
There's the same kayak picture, the same hiking thing. It's like, bitch, you're at home all the time, dude. I know you. You don't do anything.
You're on Twitter all day. Like you're gonna tell me you have a social life. You posted 5 minutes apart for the last 7 hours.
These are clearly a cluster of rock climbing pictures because you read Instagram messages the second they're sent.
Yeah. You're the comedian. You're the comedian who takes a picture of 4 people and pretends it's a full audience.
You're the comedian who
they know how to crop properly.
Takes a picture like you're at the show because your friend is emceeing and you're taking the picture with the whole cast. You're like, what a great show, guys. Really
I killed it last night.
Before the pandemic, I saw someone, I was at the stand and I watched this person bomb, right? And it was a rough set. Yeah. And then later in the night, I was on Instagram and the stand had reposted their Instagram picture because you know how they do that, their story. Yeah. And it was like, so-and-so killing. That is wild. I watched you have a tough one.
Well, the club's not gonna the club is advertising. They're not gonna be hey, come buy a ticket, roll the dice. It might be fucking terrible.
Dude, the third person might really just fucking chomp one.
Yeah. I was laughing. We were talking about Punchline, the movie Punchline, and how they have a locker room.
Yeah, dude.
At the,
Jay and
at
I
the
talk about
comedy
that all
club.
the time. It is ridiculous the thought of a locker room in a fucking.
Imagine the terrible, like the people that would just be hanging out in the locker room. They're not even on the show. Just a fucking nightmare.
Imagine the showers.
Yeah.
No, I'd rather not.
All the town snapping, that'd be so much fun.
Oh my god. Just get
Who
me
want-
Rich.
Who wants to
Hawk.
towel snap
Take it
Louis
away.
Gomez?
Yeah, dude. I would love that. He would be the king of that. He'd be doing 2 towels at a time, and you'd be like, Lewis, we're trying to shower to get to our set.
All right, new letter. Dear Abby, I'm writing on behalf of my friends at work. We have a coworker, Madge, who had a stillborn baby last year. It was tragic. Our problem is she keeps a photo of the deceased infant with its little eyes sewn shut on her desk in plain view so that we must interact with her. We have an open cubicle layout. We have to see it. Is this appropriate? 90% of the employees here are women. Most are appalled. Others say, well, it's all she has. Madge is expecting again, and we are rooting for her and the baby. However, in addition to all of this, she is mean and gossipy. Madge tells everyone what to do and how to do it, which is not in her job description. I hope that the baby arrives, she will soften and not be so bitter. But Abby, how on earth do we blow off that photo? Signed, Appalled in the Midwest. Guys, you talk about if you've ever had an office gig, you know the trope is people that microwave fish in the break room. This might be significantly worse that I have to see a dead baby at 9 a.m.
Or Madge is the most metal bitch in the fucking office.
Yeah.
Sorry that she
Yes.
rolls. She fucking rolls with the fucking devil, dude. Don't fuck with Madge.
I
She's
like the
gonna
idea
she'll tell
that
your dirt and fucking.
that ain't even Madge's baby. She just put that picture up there to be like, stay the fuck away from my desk. Some people have the bowl of candy because they want everybody to stop by. She's like,
and
co-worker repellent.
Also, I'm expecting, and the father is an evil goat. So I hope it might be the son of Lucifer.
I had a teacher that would I can't believe I can even actually segue into this story. There's never been a point I could segue into this fucking story. I had a biology teacher that I wasn't in her class, but I had to, when I had detention, they would be in the biology room. And she had a fetus in a jar that she kept behind a picture of her family because she couldn't have a family for the longest time. So in the court, I went to school there for like 3 years. She had a fetus in a jar, like an actual fetus.
Yeah.
And she had it on her desk at all times. And she didn't have and she finally gave birth. Like the second year I was there, she finally had a kid after trying for a decade. And then she had a picture of the family right next to the fetus.
That would have been better if the fetus was in the photo of the
There's a bunch of pictures of the kid. There's a little fetus in a graduation cap.
But like talking about it, it's a dead fucking baby in a jar.
Also, I'm just gonna say I find it pretty rude that she leaves it at work.
It's not like a pocket puppy, like that little beeper thing.
The
Tamagotchi or whatever.
Yeah.
She feeds it like a Tamagotchi. She's like, all right, well, this was dude, that's fucking wild to think that she had to go first off, keep the body, then she had to go get a jar,
like a mason jar,
and like put it all together, and you're like,
but also, I don't know about you, but what grade were you in when this happened, Jay?
It was 6th through 8th. I got kicked out of 9th.
We were all little fucking psychopaths back then. We would have for sure stolen that baby. Like, there is no way that jar doesn't get like weirdly decorated or moved around.
If you think me and my friends wouldn't have played 500 with that baby in the parking lot.
Well, here's the thing. We did, and I've never said this publicly, but I shook it a little too hard, throwing it at my friend. I did like one of those, hey, catch real quick. And he's like, holy shit. And the hand came off. So for the whole next year, it just had a little hand floating around the jar.
Oh my God.
Oh, that's too fun. We had a Spanish teacher in 7th grade. His name was Norbert Hellman. Didn't speak Spanish, barely spoke Spanish, spoke a lot of German, but he was our Spanish teacher. And we, to this day, I kind of feel bad about how horribly we bullied this man. Just like, you're an adult, but like, just had no control over this classroom. One kid, we were dissecting frogs, and we all kept frog parts and then just threw frog parts at him one day, and not like a cage. Oh, here's a leg or whatever. Like the arrows and fucking Braveheart. Just like a wall of frog parts flying at this man. Javina Ector threw a battery at him. It was insane.
Those are the stories that make me like my mind blown that there's not more school shootings of teachers doing the shootings.
Yeah.
Like that still the fact that that's never happened is like, well, that's pretty impressive.
He brought in cake on his birthday to try to like make peace, I think. And then we all just threw cake at him. And then he literally was like, he said, I can't believe you did this on my birthday. And then went out in the hallway and cried. It was a horrific. I feel terrible for this man now. So I just imagine that guy also having his dead fetus on his desk. It would not have been okay.
Porque.
Oh, that was the other thing that drove him insane. Porque was the word, and I maybe you're all actually right around the age. There was parquet, it was like margarine, and the ad was parquet butter, and it would go butter with the little lid would pop up and talk. So anytime he said porque, people would say butter in the back of the class, and it like Chinese water torture drove him slowly insane. It was
butter.
Yeah, it was
pretty so what's the advice for this person?
The advice for this person is leave Madge the fuck alone. I don't think Madge wants you people talking to her. I think Madge, also, I do like they snuck in. I forgot that they snuck in that she's mean and gossipy. Yeah. Maybe she is trying to tell you she doesn't want to talk to you. Although the gossipy part does imply that she's trying to talk to people. So,
by the way, total bitch.
I know she's been through a lot, but can I just add on the way out? Real bitch.
Yeah.
Turns out having 5 miscarriages makes you a little cranky.
Dude, I would just say leave Madge alone. Just don't go near there.
Have you had office jobs? Anybody?
Yeah, no, I'm lucky I never did. I'm truly lucky I never did.
What's an office? Define office job. I've been in a cubicle doing
bullshit office. Yeah. Exactly. That sort of thing. I've done that as well. And like, it is people act like you have to interact. You fucking don't. Like, we have email, we have chat. You don't have to fucking talk to anybody. Just sit at your fucking desk and like mind your goddamn business is my advice to pretty much everybody.
Didn't she say they have open cubicles?
They say they have open cubicle, but all that means is you don't have your own door. That just means everybody has a little square thing that you sit next to each other. Is the idea of a cubicle, but like, stay in yours, man. You have Facebook, talk to your friends.
Or like get a whole bunch of like, what kind of babies do you like? And then
oh, maybe you gotta out baby picture her. You gotta go get like an aborted fetus baby, put that up, the real bloody nasty one.
Just go pro-life. Just every pro-life bumper sticker you've ever seen, just all over your thing.
Even pull over when you see a demonstration and be like, are you guys after this? Sorry.
Can I get some of those pamphlets actually? I don't
I gotta pay. I'm just looking. They go, are you looking for the literature? And you go, no, I'm just looking for the photos. I'm gonna cut this out, but I appreciate it.
All right, we're gonna wrap up here soon. I think we got time for 1 or 2 more. Let's try. Oh, this is an interesting one. Dear Abby, from the time when I was a teen, whenever a romance of mine ended, my mother would continue having her own relationship with the ex, regardless of how I felt about it. Over the years, she attended my ex-husband's wedding, still visits with my former high school boyfriend, contacts my sister's ex-boyfriend. The list goes on and on. Not surprisingly, this issue has generated some heated exchanges. Now my adult daughter is experiencing the same thing. She recently ended a 3-year relationship, and guess where mother ended up? She drove 20 miles to visit him in his store, although there are plenty of other stores she could have gone to nearby. I've long felt that I didn't matter much to her since my exes were more important. But seeing the pain this has brought my daughter makes me furious all over again. Should we just never introduce her to anyone in our lives until the wedding? Signed, Sick of the X Factor. I think your mom is trying to get some of that dick.
Dude, this is a total Brazzers storyline.
Yeah. If your mom could figure out a way to be stuck under a coffee table around your boyfriend, she would just do that.
She goes, then my yoga pants were ripped open. I was had right there. Yeah, dude, I've heard similar stories of that kind of stuff happening, of like people staying in touch after relationships. I'm lucky my mom never did that,
Yeah.
but I could see that being very fucking annoying.
Yeah. Why are you doing that?
I think she's doing it because she hates her daughters and she has no one else to talk to about it.
Yeah,
you know what?
That's whoa.
And also, if you add on top of that, I wonder if she's more into him after the breakup when they're all soured. Like
Yeah,
she
that's
how to farm them.
Yeah,
yeah.
she's apologizing for like, hey, look, I didn't raise them right. They're kind of egotistical. That's their father. I'm sorry for what you're dealing with.
Yeah, and they're like, right? She never listens, and she's like, she doesn't listen. Trust me, I know that.
Have any of you ever tried to maintain connections with an ex's family member or friend?
No. I mean, I have. So I mean, I guess I could. Not somebody who was strictly their friend.
Yeah.
You know, you have mutual friends and like,
Sure.
oh, I'm still friends with mutual friends from past breakups or whatever. But like, I've never been like, oh, you're her friend. I'm going to go now. We have to be friends after now. That seems insane to me.
Also, the thought of being like, let me call my ex-girlfriend's mom and see how she's doing is fucking crazy.
It's almost crazier. Like the mom may be motivated by some weird motherly, like, oh, I knew this kid, like the high school ex-boyfriend. I knew him when he was a kid. We'd stay in touch on Facebook, whatever. That could be like understandable, I guess. But like for him to be like, oh, hey mom, let's hang out. That's fucking weird.
Yeah, this is white trash. This is white trash. This is a lot of lonely people that don't have like mother figures in their own life or parental figures. So when you grow up in that kind of environment, you try to seek it from anyone that gives a shit about you.
Sure.
Right.
And she probably doesn't have a good relationship with dogs. They probably know each other. So they're like, oh, we don't like each other. Hey, I get along with this guy. You just, when you're poor, you create these different ideas of what a family is and project it onto these other people. It's just sad. It's just actually the sad fucking thing.
Jay's just explaining why people join the Crips. He's just literally like, kids just need validation.
No, that's my brother. He joined Latin Kings. We're not Latin.
Hold on. Wait, Jay, what's happening? They've loosened up the fucking requirements at this point?
Well, no, my brother broke the color barrier in gangs. He was that violent.
The Jackie Robinson of the Latin Kings.
Yeah, he's amazing.
Yeah, they're gonna do a biop on him where it's gonna be like Channing Tatum playing him. And he's really nice.
Well, well, you said it earlier. You don't jive well with like weird alt versions of the drug dealers or violent people that you're used to.
Yeah.
Well, that was my brother. If you're the white guy in a fucking predominantly Hispanic or black gang, that's the scariest fucking dude in the group because he's constantly trying to prove himself.
Oh yeah, dude, that's got to be fucking nuts. Yeah. So the advice for this person is just, I don't know, man.
It's hard to say don't talk to your mom anymore. But your mom has made it very clear that she doesn't, like, if you have brought up to her and said, hey, I need you to stop hanging out with all of my exes, it makes me uncomfortable, and she refuses to do that, there's a boundary thing that needs to be set here, and your mom is not respecting those boundaries. So how do you handle that?
Or this is the smartest way to ever get a fight going, where you're just like, I'm gonna keep pushing until you fight me, you bitch.
Yeah, mom. Maybe mom just wants that drama. Yeah.
But I say they set up a real fight, just like an MMA. Put it on that Triller or whatever.
Yeah.
The next Triller paper.
Yeah, Pete Davidson is gonna do the fucking commentary.
He's gonna be like, there's a mom who keeps calling her ex-boyfriends, and they're gonna fight right now in the MMA cage.
I think we can squeeze in one more, then we can get the hell. I'll let you guys go. This one I think is be quick, but it's funny to me. Dear Abby, 3 years ago, my brother Frank donated a kidney to me. Of course, I am grateful and have told him so many times. The problem? Frank talks about it every time I see him. If we attend a funeral, he will say that the person in the coffin would have been me if not for him. He will tell complete strangers in the store, hey, ask her what I gave her. He even took me to a school reunion picnic so he could show his former teachers what a wonderful person he is. I'm glad I received the kidney. It has added quality to my life. But how can I let my brother know that while I'm appreciative, I'm also really tired of hearing him remind me about it every day? Signed, Grateful Sister in Kentucky. This guy sounds like a real pain in the ass. Like, yeah, well, I get that you gave me a kidney, but man, there's a fucking statute of limitations on this shit. You gotta, right?
No, it's in Kentucky. How good could that kidney be?
Sure. There's also that. He grew up next to the power plant. There's a lot of fluorocarbons in there.
You got a real used car on that one. You got a real used car plugged into you.
I get like that's gotta be annoying though, right? Like you ever okay, go ahead.
I also am insecure enough to understand Frank's need of validation for doing that, where he's like, a pretty big fucking move. I'm gonna need you to keep saying thanks on that one. But he's not suave about it, so he's just a loud asshole.
Maybe she's abusing this kidney and he keeps reminding her because she like what happened to the other kidney.
Oh yeah, she's out to
why are we asking that question?
We haven't asked how well she's treating the kidney. That's true. That is true.
Anybody can assume cancer, but maybe she was a fuck up. He's like, no, I'll give you my kidney. Here's a second chance, and she's just out fucking doing appletinis with the gang in Kentucky like they do.
Yeah. I think you picked the wrong drink for the Kentucky.
Cheering on NPR and just drinking rosé. They do in Kentucky, and he's like, hey, look at it. It really hurt when I gave you that.
Man, it would be funny if you found out the first kidney she lost because she was like really into roller derby and she was taking like elbows and shit. And then he's like, all right, well, I guess I can give you this one.
I got a spare. I do also feel like now I'm lucky in the sense that I am fat and unhealthy and drink too much, so no one's gonna want my kidney. But like I am coming around on Frank a little bit because the thought of like, even if I was healthy and someone asked for my kidney, that's a I'll help you move, I guess, but like that's a big ask. You know what I'm saying?
How long do you think the when someone asks you a big favor and you kind of have to like verbally jab your way into your decision where you're like, ooh, yeah, a kidney has to be like a good hour of that.
You're
like, yeah. Ooh, I don't know.
I still feel like I kind of want to hold on to that. I know I'm not super using it right now, but I might.
I love to pee.
Yeah.
God, I love to pee. And I feel like this is going to change that.
Jay, would you give your Latin King brother a kidney if he asked?
No, he's falling apart as it is.
I was half expecting you to be like, no, he's dead.
Well, I mean, maybe we'll find out this week. My cousin messaged me out of nowhere, and apparently she might be dying, and I haven't read the message yet, so I'm kind of like stealing myself for that moment because these are people that like never gave a shit about me or never talked to me. But now you're sad and in pain.
Sure.
Okay, I'll show up. I'll do the family thing.
That's that's the Soder family crest.
Yeah.
What you just said. It's like, now we're in pain. You around?
Yeah.
Like, when you're a kid, they're just like, fuck you. You're a kid. You can bounce back through anything. And then as you get old and they get sad, they're like, hey, so anyways, I thought about it and I'm just really, I need to talk to you.
No, our family plan is whenever an organ's going away, like my brother lost a lot of his small intestine and they were debating putting a colostomy bag on him. His way out of it was like, well, no, I'm just going to kill myself.
Damn.
And it's that Texas kind of angry. Nah, fuck him. I'm not going to shit in the bag. I'd rather just end my life and be happy about that. And you just kind of have to live with it. Yeah.
There's a little bit of like that's not not how I would handle it, but I'm also not going to say I don't understand that impulse.
Yes,
you know what I mean? The idea, man, shitting, like I got to do another thing. It's not even the shitting the bag. It just is another thing I got to do every day.
It's the inconvenience.
Chris,
yeah.
I think about that. If I ever kill myself, it's just going to be out of boredom. I'm done. You guys do it. You fuck it up.
Or it's just or because you're given a new task that you have to do a lot now.
That's what's doing me. You got to clean that thing out. You know what I mean? That just seems like so much work.
What you're saying is you now completely understand why it would be great to go to a wedding where you don't have any fucking paperwork.
That's true. Yeah, I agree.
There it is. There it is. It took it, but we finally got to the end of why they were right.
Yeah. All right, guys. Dan, what you got coming up? This is going to sound weird. This is going to come out probably tomorrow. So go ahead and let me know if you want to plug anywhere people can find you on the internet, all that good stuff.
DanSoder.com. I'm going to be in Indy and Buffalo and Pittsburgh. Listen to the Bonfire. Download the podcast. It's me and Big J Okerson on Sirius XM. Yeah, that's it.
Do that for sure. Jay, what's going on with you? Where can people find you? All that good stuff.
My buddy George Anthony did an album, and I just want to pimp that and throw some clicks and some money his way.
Plug that for sure. George Anthony's very, very funny. That joke about the fight, his family all getting in a fight together
incredible.
with another family at the movie theater. It's so fucking funny. Yeah, check out George Anthony. Hilarious comic for sure. I am at Chris Cubis on all social media. If you like the show, rate, review, subscribe. Give us those little 5 stars. It helps us a lot. Gentlemen, this is a pleasure. I appreciate you guys
Dude,
hanging for a
seeing you
bit.
too, man.
And we'll be back. We'll be back next week with more bad advice.
Yeah, baby.